Hey, I'm down here in historic Petersburg, and came down here to check out this place called the Exchange Building. Really cool, older, kind of Greek revival building. Something looks like you'd see in New York or up in DC. And this place was established in 1839, and yeah, it was established by some businessmen as a place to trade and sell goods. Things like tobacco, cotton, and had a lot of auctions here. And inside there's supposed to be a siege museum commemorating the Union siege on Petersburg towards the end of the Civil War. So anyway, I'm gonna check this place out. All right, walking around the museum, and second floor is closed because of COVID, but yeah, they've got a lot of stuff down here, and it's no longer just the siege museum. It's pretty much the history of Petersburg. So it starts out with some Native American artifacts. Looks like some arrows and weapons. And the Appomattox were native to this area. And over here, this guy, Howard Lee Ball, he was one of the Tuskegee Airmen. And pretty cool, they've got one of these over at Shannon Airport up in Fredericksburg, one of these red tails. Oh, and scenes from the movie Lincoln were filmed here in Fredericksburg. Some scenes filmed at this house and over at the Center Hill Museum. And also scenes from the TV show Mercy Street on PBS. And I haven't seen it. Actually, I hadn't heard of it, but it looks pretty cool. Takes place during the Civil War. And yeah, there's Moses Malone, old school basketball player. Was I assume he's from Richmond, or I'm sorry, from Petersburg. And this guy Joseph Cotton, old school Hollywood actor, born here. And Edgar Allan Poe actually had his honeymoon right across the street at this whatever this building is, an old tea and coffee house. And a little side note on Edgar, his wife was his 13-year-old cousin. He was 27 when they married, Virginia Clum. So yeah. From that TV series. Oh, and that guy, the actor, the Hollywood actor Joseph Cotton, his grandmother painted this in the late 1800s. That's kind of cool. And here's a Civil War general, also an engineer, railroad executive. Let's see this guy, William Mahone. And it's a pretty cool bust, pretty cool beard. So... and some artifacts from the Civil Rights era. The whole separate but equal thing from, let's see, 1896 until the 1950s. And Virginia State University, major black college here. And, oh yeah. Some stuff from the Revolutionary War. Didn't even know there was a Battle of Petersburg during that war. Virginia Gazette. And some stuff from Pocahontas Island. I actually drove through there on the way over here. And little island right in the middle of the Appomattox, and it was home to the country's largest black population right after the freed black population. Well, I guess they were free after the Civil War. Yeah, so oh, and here's the Blandford Church. I was over there a couple weeks ago. And old King James Bible over here. And looks like Martin Luther King preached here. And back here is, I guess, what was the old, what's left of that old just siege museum. Oops, dedicated to the Battle of Petersburg. Pretty cool artifacts. Yeah, and Petersburg was a really happening city. It was the second largest city in Virginia before the war, and pretty much got devastated. There was 10 months of fighting, and yeah, many people fled after the war, and I don't think it's really totally recovered since. Using around. So yeah, that's that Center Hill Museum over there. Some old muskets and shells. Oh, and yeah, it looks like mortars were introduced right before the Battle of Petersburg, and that's what the Union used to bombard the city. And this is actually the shell. And it says here weighed 218 pounds. 20-pound charge. Yeah, this thing right here was called the Dictator. So, all right, so that's it for the exchange house, and another short video. But like I say, this time of year, I'm trying to stay indoors and just knocking out these little museums. So, anyway, see ya. All right, so just finished the tour. And across the street here, that building where Edgar Allan Poe had his honeymoon. And yeah, it was owned by his friend Hiram Haynes. And it looks like there's still some memorabilia in there. And up there's a picture of Edgar and his wife, kind of faded out. But pretty neat. And so I learned a little bit about the building, and designed by an architect from New York. Maybe that's why it looks a little out of place. And yeah, it was only used as an exchange building just for a few years actually. And then during the Civil War, it was used as a bank. And then throughout the years, it's been everything from newspaper office, lawyer's office. It was a police station at one time. There's been a barber shop in there. But in the 1970s is when they converted it to a museum.